This is what love is. Love is not breathlessness, it's not excitement, it's not the promulgation of promises of eternal passion. It's not lying awake at night, imagining that he's kissing every part of your body. No, don't blush. I'm telling you some truths. That is just being in love, which any fool can do. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away. And this is both an art and a fortunate accident. Your mother and I had it. We had roots that grew towards each other underground. And when all the pretty blossom had fallen from our branches, we found that we were one tree, not two. But sometimes the petals fall away and the roots have not entwined. Imagine giving up your home and your people only to discover after 6 months, a year, 3 years, that the trees have had no roots and have fallen over. Couldn't help think that that passage actually describes something about marriage when we speak about marriage within the church, or especially within the Catholic Church. It's not just about emotions, it is about something far deeper. We speak in the Catholic Church of marriage being one of the Church's sacraments. If you like, one of those high points, if you like, in the Church's life where we believe God communicates with us in some way through signs and symbols. In some of these sacraments, like baptism, perhaps the sign is quite obvious, such as in baptism, where water is poured over a person's head, water being a cleansing agent. Within marriage, perhaps the sign is a little more difficult to see. In marriage, in the Catholic Church, we say that the sacrament comes about with the exchange of vows between husband and wife, or bride and groom. That exchange of love is meant in some way to reflect the love that God has for each and every one of us. Within the sacrament of marriage, the couple are inviting God, if you like, into their relationship, inviting God, who is love, to be part of their marriage, and also to pray that in some way, within that union, they too will be able to reflect something of God's love. So when a couple come into the church to exchange their marriage vows, first of all, church requires that it's something that is done freely. That the couple aren't being forced into marriage, it's something that they want to do. And that's reflecting the fact that God's love for us is permanent. It's something that's freely given, not something we deserve or something we can earn, but something that is offered freely. But God, in a sense, calling for a response to that love. And so within marriage, as the couple exchange their love for one another, it is meant to be something that is freely given and something that's freely accepted. And then the other requirement is that love is a lifelong union. Again, reflecting the fact that God's love is something that's permanent. Yes, as we go on our journey through life, even if we have faith, there are times we might lose sight of God. We may take the wrong path at times. God doesn't give up on us. His love is always there, constantly calling us to return to him. And so, within the marriage, as the exchange of vows, the intention is that it is a lifelong union. But perhaps there's more to that love within marriage than just something freely given, the lifelong commitment. In that passage from Captain Corelli's Mandolin, I think what Pelagia's father was really trying to say was that love was more than emotion. And by discovering what love really is and being faithful to that love, then they grow closer together, or in the phrase that he used, their roots become entwined with one another. And so, within marriage, the couple are being called to perhaps reflect on the love of God that is offered to us, or revealed to us in the person of Jesus Christ. And when we look at the life and the ministry of Jesus, we see that that love is something which is very compassionate. Jesus reaching out to us in many situations, trying to support people, give people encouragement. It is a love which is ready to forgive, in the hope that people can pick their lives up once again and make a fresh start. It is something which is tolerant. But the love of Christ is also something that's self-sacrificial. We see that in the fact that he gave his life on the cross so that we could be at peace and reconciled with God. And so perhaps those are some of the qualities that the couple were called to reflect on and exchange within marriage. We may say that's quite a tall order. How can we actually reflect God's love when God is perfect love? I think that passage from St. Paul we heard today is one to reflect on, and perhaps helping us to understand the qualities of that love. When he says love is always patient and kind, never jealous, never boastful or conceited, never rude or selfish, delights in the truth, always ready to excuse, to trust, to hope, and to endure whatever comes. And so, within any relationship, and especially within marriage, there are many opportunities perhaps to reflect those qualities of God's love. By being caring and gentle, tolerant and forgiving. We all know there are many opportunities for that. And I think it is something that, with God's help, aware of God's presence within that marriage relationship, it is something that can develop. I've been very moved as a priest on some occasions when I've been called to visit someone who is seriously